Happy Thursday, happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone out there. Josh here with On the Wrong Lead. And I realize I don't have a green shirt on, but you can pretend like it was that, meme that happened a while ago where, hey, what color is that shirt, that dress? Is it gold? Is it black? I don't know. This is green, kind of, right? But I will make up for it. A little shot of Jameson. And nice hard pour of Guinness here. Yeah, we don't really got much racing going on this weekend. It's kind of the old lull before it really starts picking up. Caleb and I were talking a little bit. I think maybe it was last night, sometime this week, and he's like, "We're basically after this week. I mean, we're almost full bore till Breeders' Cup. Like this is it." So why don't I bring the man himself in real quick, Mr. Caleb. I know Caleb.
Well, how's it going, man? I think the secret must be only giving you cans to open on stream because you seem to have that one covered pretty well.
Yeah, the can was easy, but trying to walk up the steps with a shot of Jameson and not spill any of it, that was tough. I forgot how hard walking with a shot was, and like I'm just an idiot, and I filled that thing up to the top. So I had to take a little sip on the way up the stairs. But how you doing?
Why you didn't bring the bottle in, but I think we both know the answer to that.
No, instead I brought a little cooler with a cold pack here with some beers. So
very nice.
I'll be ready to go. How you doing, man? How was your weekend? How did you do anything for St. Patrick's Day this year?
No, I didn't. With work, being back in the office, and I got to work tomorrow. So, unfortunately, no St. Patty's Day festivities, no green beer for me tonight. But no, it's been fine. It's been busy, but you can't complain. Not the best racing this weekend, like you said, but I think that got a fun little sequence here at Turfway, and then maybe we can kind of just bullshit, talk about whatever people in chat want to talk about.
Yeah, and more importantly, what are we 1 week away from Texas Champions Day?
And Louisiana Derby.
And Louisiana Derby. That's going to be a long night or a long day of gambling. So, speaking of long days,
what's up, fellas? I got my green shirt on, man. I'm having a great day, guys. Sometimes it just rolls with it. I got a green bottle. Does that count? I mean, something has to count for it, right? At some point, I'm going to try and channel my inner Conor McGregor when, we're going to get boomed by Corrales at Turfway. I'm like, who the fuck is that guy?
Have you you ever have proper 12?
No.
No? Caleb, have you ever had proper 12?
I have not.
No? Jay, have you ever had proper 12?
No, I have not yet.
No? Of all the people in here, I thought maybe you would have had proper 12 because you kind of seem like the kind of guy who just like would go out to the bar and I've been to bars where like they have the reps show up and they just like start handing out like free like samples and shots of stuff. And I think proper 12 was one of them. Like what, 5-6 years ago, like when it came out, like they were trying to push it everywhere. Like I remember it was everywhere at Buffalo Wild Wings, and that was a thing. But it's awful. So I will save you guys the trouble. Do not buy it. Just stick with Jameson. I've really actually had a hard time getting past anything that isn't Jameson. Like I've had some other Irish whiskeys, and I'm just not a fan. But
just want to let you know, Proper 12 is an ultra smooth blend of golden grain and single malt with hints of vanilla, honey, and toasted wood.
So Gege has also got tastes of hints of honey and toasted wood there in his hair there. But Gege, I'm glad that we finally got you on here. I think I think you're one. We did an interview for a podcast a couple weeks after Kentucky Downs, after that poor teller had to count your money like 4 times because the wind kept on blowing at Kentucky Downs. But welcome, man. I'm glad you were able to join. You know, we always love replacing Mark with other people. So so glad you're able to join us.
Yeah, listen, thank you. It's tough shoes to fill. I'm gonna try and not be too bad compared to Mark, but you know, I'll do my best.
It's a low bar.
Dude, I mean, Caleb's like just face lit up. He's like, I don't know, I got like 20 ways I can go.
I serious. I had so many jokes I was going to make about that. I'm going to give Brian a chance because I figured.
How is it when he's not here? I don't make the jokes, but when he's not here, you guys are full of
it is really funny. Like I feel like sometimes, like when he's here, like Brian, like you just are relentless, and like sometimes I'm like, oh, like maybe that was a little too much. But when he's not here, like we got no problems, just like dumping on him. But I mean, we love Mark. Mark is a great guy. He's one of the nicest guys I've ever met, and he's awesome to hang out with in person. We just love giving him shit, though. I don't know, poor guy. I don't know why he still hangs around. Yeah, why don't Gigi, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? I know we hang out in the Discord. You are a very frequent player, but before we kind of dive into this Turfway card, why don't you just give us a little bit about like your handicapping style, maybe what kind of products you use, like what you're kind of looking for here, real quick.
Sure, yeah. So I'm a pretty simple guy when it comes to handicapping. I'm actually kind of a big DRF guy first and foremost. I do use Timeform as well. I think Timeform is especially good on the turf races. But I try to keep it simple. I try to stick to those two. I'm not a big optics guy. I'm not a big Brisnet guy. I stick to 2, and that's kind of where my sweet spot is. I feel like if you throw in, 4 or 5 different handicapping factors, you're just kind of all over the place. So for me, I stick to 2, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the things that we've talked about. And I know Brian, we were talking about this weekend, weren't we? About overload with information. And I know you've definitely like have come like full circle sometimes where like you're like using like 5. Well, you also kind of go around the horn and use like every product once. But
well, yeah, it depends. The best I've ever done was when I was using HTR and optics as a pair, right? The two of them together were a nice complement, but then I start going crazy where you're looking at thoroughgraphs and DRF and optics, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, Briz says this horse is going to do this, optics has a circle, and all of a sudden you look at the sheets, you're like, oh, the horse is going to bounce, and you're like, what do? I'll pick the 9. The 9 finishes 12 lengths off the board.
Yeah. And I see Emily in chat. Emily, I love your product. All right, I even shouted you out. I shouted you on the HRN stream. Okay, I love your product. I use it all the time.
Yeah, just kidding, Emily. I use it all the time too.
Honestly, like before we kind of get into this race, Caleb is probably the person I've seen most consistently use the most amount of products. But I think Caleb does it in the smart way, where he is probably about 80 to 85% invested in one product, and then he lets the other like 10, 15% of his information come from other things. I feel like sometimes when people use 3 or 4 products, they weigh them all almost equally, and they let them pull themselves in different directions way too many times.
There's no way he doesn't have 4 products in that hair. Look at that hair. That's at least 3 or 4 products.
Dude, he probably doesn't even have any products, man. He's just naturally good looking like that.
Oh, come on. Nobody gets fluffy black hair like that.
But
I got a couple grays in there I noticed the other day. I think is this 30?
Oh God. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much strictly a Brisnet person, and I supplement that with optics. I know Caleb is mostly Brisnet as well, with Timeform. Uses sheets every once in a while. Use workout reports. Use Timeform US. Brian, I mean, it depends on the day of the week what he's using. That's
not entirely true.
Well, okay, depends on what month it is.
I try different products, right? I like to know the whole thing from bet mix to to optics. But like I said, the best I've ever done is HTR and optics together. That's just me. If I took more time to learn bet mix, I'd probably do all right with that. I know Bicky does pretty good with it, but you always go back to where you go because your bankroll can only take a hit for so long.
Yeah, I definitely see a bunch of chat. So why don't we get to some of this chat here? While looks like we got 7 minutes to race here. It looks like let's see. Oh, apparently Road Warrior is thanking us for covering Tampa last week because apparently he wasn't going to pay attention without us mentioning a few of the races. And old man Chad paid him again. Man, just like tale as old as time, right? Road Warrior and Chad Brown.
Hey,
Like
Lloyd said he was hoping Mark was going to be here. So here he is. He's sitting on my lap today. This is Mark. Say hi, Mark.
Lloyd also said his last name is Green. So Saturday asking a question about the tournaments. Are tournaments the best way to get action and some sort of competitiveness and practice for new players? Cheap ones like $3 or $15. I'll tell you, man. Now on horse tourneys, you can play 2 whole cards for $12. I know Jay, you're a big fan of those 2-card, the Gulfstream and Tampa on Wednesday for like $12 or whatever. It's the 2 cards.
Yeah, I mean, listen, for $12, if you can play 2 cards and just kind of coast all day, I mean, that's great value, right?
I'll tell you, Wednesday at Gulfstream and Tampa is probably the perfect time to not invest a lot of money and play those $12 tournaments. So I definitely agree. I think it gets you looking at the races. Looking at the races and actually having a little bit of money invested. I know Mark is a huge proponent of paper capping, but I find like sometimes like it's easy for you to take like bigger risks when there's no money involved, and all of a sudden maybe you hit a couple long shots that you probably wouldn't have really bet with real money. And I just think it always having a little bit of money behind it, even if it's just a $2 win bet or something, I think makes you take enough effort to make it a little better. I mean, if you have the discipline to paper cap the same way as you real cap, I think that's great. But I mean, I don't have that discipline. I don't know. Caleb, I know for sure does not have that discipline because he often swears when we cap some track he would never play, and he has to play a pick 5 or pick 4 because he's like, well, I already capped it, so I got to play it.
You have to.
But
I think it's a good question, though. I would probably just add in that I think there's a difference between, tournaments being a good way for action, get yourself, a good full day of action for cheap or something. I think that they're great for that. I don't know that it's great for like new players learning, because I think there's a very different mentality that goes into tournament playing. There's a different strategy, and you don't really learn how to construct wagers or how to make bets, and that's a big part of the game. So I think it's great for getting action, especially getting in for fairly cheap and getting a full day worth of fun. But I don't know that it's the way I would like start learning how to play the horses if you're brand new.
Yeah. Lloyd's actually asking why, if we know why it was called the Spa. I will tell you that they're known for their hot springs up there, and they have a bunch of like natural spas up there. I'm sure Road Warrior will have the exact answer that you are looking for, and he will explain it. He will be like in 1876, the first hot mineral spring, and he's gonna have a great. Oh, never mind. He said there's a bunch of spas and baths nearby. Well, I guess I oversold it. But we got a couple minutes to post here at Turfway. 4 minutes to post. Looks like we got a field of 9, and that's one of the great things about Turfway. You're always going to get these fields of 8, 9, 10, 11 in these races. If you can hit, you're gonna hit. Looks like your favorite right now is the 6 at 3-1. That is Copper King. First time gelding here. Jeej, as the guest, I'll let you go first. Who do you like here?
Yeah, sure. So the 6 as the favorite is fine. I understand why it's the favorite, but for me, I noticed that it's being gelled off a win, which for me is always like a telltale sign of like, why are you doing that? Like, why change things up if you have a winner? So for me, that horse is a toss. I actually kind of lean more towards the 5 here. I just don't know if like 6 is going to kind of sit off and win, whereas the 5 kind of like has that ability that I'm looking for.
Caleb, you got anything here?
So I'm alive in the pick 4 to the 3, 6, and 7. I didn't expect the 6 to be the favorite, but I do understand why he's taking money. That's an interesting angle by G. I've never really thought about that much, but that's an interesting point. So we'll see how the 6 runs here. But I had the 3 and the 7 as well. The 3 was pretty consistent. It has done decently over the Turfway surface here. Actually got a win coming off a huge layoff, and then found starter allowance company probably a little too competitive for him. So I think he's getting back to a more appropriate level today. I think the 3 makes some sense. And then I like the 7 a little bit too. It has shown up in pretty much every start since being claimed by James Watkins, and was beaten 9 lengths last time, but was still second. So I thought there was enough speed in here to set it up for one of these off the pace runners.
Brian, what did you like here?
So I didn't hear anything you guys said. I'm sorry. I told you it was one of those days. I'm going to open up a little pick 3 here. I like the 78 here. The 7 makes a lot of sense. Both the 78 have a lot of positive things about them that I like. I do agree that the 6 being gelded off for wins a little weird. So I'm going to go with the 7-8 in this leg, and I'm going to look to try and put something together and race 7 for this pick 3. Unfortunately, I'm going to include the chalk defensively since Mark's not here. So I'm going to go 7.
Someone had to do it.
Of course, I'm going to go 7-8 to 1-9, and then I'll tell you about the horses later. But I got 4 in the finale: 2, 4, 6, 7. Let's see what I can do with a little pick 3.
Yeah, I actually really like the 5 here. It looks like the 5 is now the favorite at 3-1. The horse is coming off a win here or not a win, but a really, really strong effort. Just nosed out last time. So I think he's gonna kind of turn the tide here. Doesn't necessarily, I think, need the lead, but he's going to be forwardly placed. I think the 5 makes the most sense here. I'm going to use him with the 3, the 6, and the 7 underneath in an exacta as well. But I'm just going to key the 5 on top, 5 to win, and see if we can, just pad the bankroll a little bit here as they load into the gate.
I put your 5 in defensively since it's the chalk.
Let's take a look. Looks like Jay's got a ticket here. He's got 3, 4, 7, 8 with 1, 5, 7, 9, 10 with the 4. I think I saw another ticket out here. Did I? Yep. Mr. Bicky, he's got the 3, the 2, and 9 here.
It's a good price on this 3, 7 to 1. Better than I thought you would get.
And then Charles has got he's got the 6 win place and 6-2 daily double 6-2-7, and they're out. Charles actually hit a really nice price at Sam Houston on the HRN stream earlier today. I always check out the HRN stream, and it was nice of Mr. Ed DeRosa to shout us out. Charles had a nice little. It's like I think it was like a 20 to 1 horse or something. He had, I think, $20 win place on it. So he's feeling it. He's putting $50 win place on the 6 here. And it looks like this 8's going to go ahead and kind of get loose out on the lead here.
He looks like he's flying, but I mean, it didn't come back that first fraction didn't come back that fast.
I always feel like on the synthetic though, especially at Turfway, that those fractions always are like you always want to be under the 20 or a little bit over the 24s.
Yeah.
That second fraction looks really fast though.
That is, under 48 is pretty quick for Turfway.
I didn't realize that the 8 was going to be a gunner. I didn't pay that close attention. I've been a little distracted. There's no way I take the 3 cherry horse here.
I'm hoping the 3 just general horse here. He's getting a perfect trip, but he looks like he's not be good enough. The 6 looks loaded.
Yeah.
I mean, the 5's got run too, but the 6 looks like he's got a ton of
horse.
I don't know. He's pumping real hard on that 6 already, and the guy on the 5 is sitting chilly.
The 5's still sitting.
I feel really good about my 7. We're only down back.
I got the 7 with you, Brian. I feel you.
Man,
I mean, it looks like all the jocks are avoiding the inside too. But oh man, that 6 looks.
Look at the 7.
He's kind of lugging out a little bit.
He's like,
but this is Turfway angle, dude. It looks like it's neck and neck, but he's ahead by 2 lengths.
3 versus 4. 3 versus 4. It's coming.
6. Man, the 6 was flagging the whole way of the stretch. I don't know if you didn't see the 4 coming or what.
Did you see the 4 come down on the 3 pretty hard? I mean, the 3 had nowhere to go after the 4 squeezed them off. I'd be surprised if there's not an objection.
I don't know, man. I don't know if this is a photo. I don't know who wins it because apparently earlier today there was a photo that I clearly thought that I had, and apparently they like this 2 had the longest freaking face in the history of
I
all
still
horses.
think it was the 6. But...
Yeah, I think that's 6 all day. The 4 ran very well though.
Charles Laha with the boom. And Charles, let me hold on. Let me double check yep. 5-1 is definitely boom territory. It is above the what was the threshold before? 5-2.
Oh,
the Mike Capitan.
The Capitan line.
3 to 5. 3 to 5 is the line.
Yeah. You know the Mendoza line. Yeah, we have the Capitan line, which is the amount he's been able to boom. I've seen Mark boom 4 to 5s before. So, Stephen Fox saying some truth. He knows that there's no chalk he hasn't liked. That is absolutely true.
Come on, Raphael, throw it up there against Jimenez. I just want it. I mean, the 3 looked horrible, but I just want it.
Man, that 6 ended up floating back up to his morning line at 5-1, and looked to be much the best there. So all of us fading that 6. Wait, did you fade the 6, Caleb? I forgot.
No, I used the 6.
No, of course you used the 6.
I had 3, 6, 7.
He just doesn't miss. This is ridiculous. But looks like 6-4-3-2 is the unofficial order. Nice hit there, Charles. And while we wait for the next race, I'm gonna pull up a little Oaklawn. So this used to be the Count Fleet, right? Or is that a different race that they renamed to Whitmore? Caleb, you're the resident Oaklawn Park historian here.
Count Fleet, and then Whitmore won it like 16 times, and he finally got a race named after him.
Nice. And was it always a Grade 3?
I want to say it kind of flirted back and forth between listed stakes and Grade 3. But it may have been a listed stakes before, and this is the first time it's a Grade 3. I'm not sure. I don't think it was ever better than a Grade 3. I know that.
Nice. What's funny is when I realized that we were probably going to talk Oaklawn, that's actually why I was like, I got to get Jay on. Because if there's 2 tracks that Jay loves, it's Oaklawn Park and Turfway Park.
I know Turfway.
So I figured that this was just like perfect.
You know, there's a fine line between love and being good at. So just keep that in mind.
We rarely ever tread that line. So we're usually on, we usually really like tracks. The only one that I've been able to find that I've consistently won at as of late has been Sam Houston, and it just blew my face off today. So, we got a nice Grade 3 here, 6 furlong sprint on the lovely turf course at Oaklawn Park, which happens to be dirt because that's all they have. We got a full field of 9 here. Another track. Always has nice full fields here, Oaklawn Park. Looks like your morning line favorite is going to be the 2, Bob's Edge. Caleb, what did you see here?
I had a hard time with this race because looking at it, I mean, when I start with any kind of sprint, especially at Oaklawn, I'm looking for a horse that I think gets the lead. And that horse is not going to be Bob's Edge for sure. I don't know who really gets the lead here. I mean, my guess would be that it's probably the 8 or the 9. I guess I could see the 1 trying to go from the rail, maybe, but probably the 8 or the 9 is my guess. And there's no real clear pace setter in this race. And Bob's Edge is a horse that really does his best running a little bit later on, or he makes maybe more of a middle move, I guess. But I was against him.
The middle move.
Cotton. Yeah, middle move, Brian. I was against him in the King Cotton. I didn't think he could win that race, and he ran huge. He crushed that field. That field has been fairly productive, as Hollis, as well as home base, whatever the horse's name is.
Yeah, home base. Yeah.
He came back they both came back to win with pretty good figures next out. So I think you have to respect Bob's Edge here. It's not a horse that I really feel good about taking based on his run style in this field. But I think he makes sense, and the race probably does start with him. I'm curious where you guys landed up.
Well, I guess my first question is, so I know Larry Jones is definitely known for his work with the fillies and mares. So gelding, does that count? No? That was a real bad joke?
I had to come back for it. I'm going to let it go, though. I'm going to let that one go.
I actually like the 3, Greeley and Ben, in this spot. I think that he's got a nice versatile run style. He can win on the lead. He can win just off of it. And I think I kind of settled on him because I kind of felt the same way you did, Caleb. I didn't really know what to expect of this pace scenario. Looking at the Briz real quick, as I scroll down, I mean, we don't really have an E-type horse here. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe Greeley and Ben ends up on the lead. Maybe, and if not, even if he sits just off, I think that he's going to be comfortable either way. I actually wouldn't be surprised if Greeley and Ben ends up going off as a favorite. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, he's on a nice little win streak here of three wins, and I believe someone was kind of asking Carl, like, hey, when are you going to put Greeley and Ben in some graded stakes here? Like, he's been running in these listed stakes, so he's stepping up a little bit in company, but I don't really think there's any world beaters in here. I think he fits in perfectly with this group, and I think that he's got the versatile run style here that I think is just going to be really useful without there being a clear-cut leader. Because if Greeley and Ben ends up on the lead, I think he's going to be fine with it. Jeej, what did you think here?
Yeah, I don't disagree with you and Caleb. I think this is a really tough and wide open race. I will say that I think that Hollis, the 9, likes this course a lot. And if you go back to that December 10th race where it beat Nashville, I thought that was a very impressive effort. And, I don't see any reason that horse can't repeat that. But again, it's, there's a lot of speed in here. It's really kind of who's just going to like stick with it and be there at the wire for me. It's very tough.
Brian, you have any thoughts?
I do. So far this month at Oaklawn in 6 furlongs, 45% of the winners have been the E-type horses. So give me Josh's favorite type of horse, a price horse that is moving up in class, doesn't matter, and is 15-1 in the morning line with everybody's favorite Franco, Giovanni Franco, the 8. I want Heart Rhythm. I know it's an EP4, but if you look back in the horse's running line, the horse has shown a lot of speed. Not going to probably get the lead with the 3 out there. Just looking at Briz real quick, but it's one of those horses that moves up here, first out of the Vance Duncan barn. Not exactly a super profitable thing. I mean, Trisha Duncan's got 2 starters this year, so I've got no data to go off of. It's Oaklawn. Weird things happen, but in 15 lifetime starts, this horse has been in the money 13 times. So the horse is at least going to be close, and is 2 for 2 in the money at Oaklawn. So at 15-1 on a horse that might be on the improve, might be forwardly placed, why not?
I like that pick, Brian. I actually have that horse marked down as someone that I think you need to use at the price if you're going to play anything horizontally here. And I'm with you. He may not be the likeliest winner, but I think he's really interesting in a field that I have a lot of questions about the short-priced horses.
That's what it is. I mean, the move up in class normally would scare me a little bit, but for this on this grade 3 isn't exactly secretariat level grade 3.
Yeah. You have a lot of horses moving up in class. You have a horse like Hollis is a little bit of an every other type. I mean, Bob's Edge, we don't know if he's going to get the pace he needs. So there's a lot of questions here that I don't know who I'm going to land on, but it's probably not going to be a short price.
I do like Gija's pick of the 9 Hollis. The John Ortiz barn has been firing very well lately. I know if you guys saw on social media, I think his dad just sold a horse at the auction for like almost $500,000. So that barn's really coming alive, man. The Ortiz barn, if you don't play the Midwest circuit, is really, coming into its own. If you will, the Oaklawn, Keeneland, Turfway kind of circuit, Indiana Grand. I mean, Caesars, Horseshoe, whatever it's called.
So Caleb, I'm sure you have time form pulled up, but I will say that, and I did see once again Optics Emily in chat, but the Optics has got the 9 on the lead here. It's got them as a Q1 circle. It's got the 3 sitting just off as a Q1 square. What's time form kind of thinking about this pace scenario?
Time form shows it with basically the 3, 8, and 9 all sort of evenly on the lead. Which, if you look at the last race the 8 ran, that's probably the quickest race of anyone in this field. But that race also sort of came out of nowhere a little bit. I mean, maybe off the barn change, that's what we can expect. It's hard to say. But yeah, I think this is a tough pace scenario to really evaluate. I could easily see a three-way duel across the front as easily as I could see one of those three just clearing off and going 22 and change and then 45 and change and putting them away.
And this is the kind of race where Saturday morning, if the 9 scratches out or the 3 scratches out, you've got a completely different pace picture. So, before we start talking the races, I think it was Josh was talking about capping ahead of time and things like that. This is the kind of race this is why I don't cap ahead of time, because you'll fall in love with a horse and then a scratch. You're like, oh, my horse can still win, but everything changes in a blink.
Yeah, I really think kind of going through this, I think looking at the PPs originally, I'm pretty set on this 3. Kind of looking at optics a little bit. Optics really kind of likes this 1 a bit. No shirt, no shoes. Martin Garcia aboard for Doug Anderson, and I didn't really see it with necessarily on a fast track. But I will say that if this does come up a little muddy, I haven't looked whatsoever at the forecast, so who knows what's in store for Arkansas. But the B is definitely kind of had his best fig running off track, and this is once again this is going to be a horse that's going to sit, I think, and that maybe that second flight of horses, and maybe try and make that that one closing move. And one thing I will say about Oaklawn is Oaklawn tends to play pretty fair, I think, for a dirt track. I don't think it's like some of these other tracks where you can just kind of blindly bet speed or, just assume you kind of got to be there. Even at 6 furlongs, I think that you can play the track plays pretty fair, as was seen by Whitmore winning this race, 9 million times. I definitely think a horse like a no shirt, no shoes that isn't going to get the lead, but is going to sit in that second or third flight. I think he's definitely in here with a shot. And I don't think he's that far. At least his recent races don't look that far behind the rest of the field in this race.
You don't listen to me when I talk, do you?
No, I don't.
I can tell. 45% of the winners this month have been an E-type.
Yeah, but there's no E-types in this race.
Really? None?
Well, not pure E-types, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mark's not here, so I have to give somebody crap. I'm sorry, Josh.
Yeah,
I see you with the 3 cherries back there, Jay.
Josh, I actually agree with you. I have seen a lot of races wired this meet at Oaklawn. Granted, I haven't watched every single race, but I do see where Brian's coming from. But to your point, I do think it plays more fair than probably any other dirt track in the country. So take that for what it's worth.
Yeah, with Oaklawn, I typically find that if there's a bias, it's usually more related to post than it is to run style. Because sometimes the rail can get really good or really bad. But I think with speed, with any dirt track in America, you want to be forwardly placed. But I would say Oaklawn's relatively fair.
I'm not talking to you guys anymore.
I agree, Caleb.
I'm trying to get the ASMR stuff going. I don't know if you guys can hear me that poor, but maybe I found. Maybe
you should start your own Twitch channel.
I'm just glad you're not trying to open a bourbon bottle right now.
No, that was so. I was thinking about that the other day. I believe it was a bottle of Macallan 12 that I couldn't get open. Was that what it was? That I couldn't get open.
I think it was. Yeah.
This is the Guinness with nitro cold brew.
I was just about to say, is that a coffee or what?
Yeah, no, I thought it was like I was like, is this coffee? Is this beer? But it's a beer. But Guinness is like super low alcohol. It's like 4, well, not super low, but it's 4%. So it's much lower than most American beers. Yeah, this is a coffee one, so I don't know. I'm interested to try this out.
Have you tried the Guinness Black Lager?
I have not.
That's a very good one. It's not as thick as the stout, but it's very tasty.
All right, let's take a look at chat here real quick. So looks like Matthew Bickey is on the 8, the 1, the 4, and the 3. So he really likes Heart Rhythm here as well.
Yeah. At least 2 of us will win Saturday. Thank you, Matthew.
He's like, well, I said 8, 1, 4, 3, but it feels like the kind of race where the winner is going to come from the top 2 early to the top 2 late, which by bet mix would be 8, 9, 1, or 4. So Garth saying that, Jeej, you're looking pretty good. So
Wow, thanks, Garth. Really appreciate that.
Oh
He's a
God.
Scorpio. He likes long walks to track.
Yeah, what are you doing later, Garth?
You know what I love about Garth is that whenever I'm just like, hey, we're playing this tournament, like Garth doesn't even care what track it is. He's like, I'm in. I'm in. Like we'll be like, oh hey, Sam Houston tournament. He's like, yeah, I already got an entry in there.
Yeah, very, very true. Garth is a very much a team player for sure.
If you ever need a tournament filled, Garth is your guy.
Yeah.
I should really spend more time in Discord. You guys know all these people.
So Saturday coming in, he said, what are the top familiar horses or jockeys? Keep an eye out on Aqueduct. I only look at that track. Caleb, I would love for you to talk about the jock situation at Aqueduct.
Yeah, the short answer is that there's literally no one worth paying attention to at Aqueduct right now. I don't mean that in a derogatory kind of way, but rather that the Gulfstream Park meet ends in 3 weeks. And then when you're going to have all the big jocks come back and all the guys that you spend the next 2 weeks trying to learn are going to not really be that relevant anymore. But of the guys that are there now, Dylan Davis has been really consistent for a couple of years. Trevor McCarthy he's not always at New York, but when he is there, he's been riding well and getting some good mounts. So there's probably the two jocks I would watch. Jose Gomez, an apprentice rider, got a couple live mounts for a while. He seemed to cool off a little bit lately. And then maybe Kendrick Carmouche. Those are probably the four I'd pay attention to. People will tell you Jose Lozcano or Manny Franco, but those are not jocks that I would particularly go out of my way to bet.
Hey, does anybody else realize that Trevor McCarthy seems to be winning more often since they had the baby? I mean, I'm just putting it out there. He seems to be riding a little bit more determined. Since they had the baby, he's found the winner circle a little bit more often. I've got no stats to back that up. It's just visual.
I just think that Trevor is better on the East Coast because I think he's got either his agent has got better connections or he's got better connections or better name recognition. I don't think he really got the quality amounts that he gets in New York over in on the West Coast. But on top of it, he's definitely gotten some nice prices home too. So it's not. He definitely knows how to ride. I think I mean I love Kendrick. So I bet him at any New York circuit. But yeah, I think that's a good point. Aqueduct meet is unlike the rest of the year in New York. So once Belmont starts up and once Saratoga starts, especially, you definitely get to know the real New York riders. And then late Aqueduct and early Aqueduct, like that fall meet, you'll still see some crossover, but right now, until probably the next 2 weeks, not really much you get to know at Aqueduct. Winter Aqueduct plays completely different with that winterized track than it does in the spring.
Urban Cowboy said Saturday's card's pretty good.
The field sizes are pretty good from what I've heard. I haven't looked at the card yet, but I think there might even be a Naira contest this weekend that I might be jumping into. So
I think I saw that.
There is. Yeah, they're back this weekend.
There's a Santa Anita one too, right? The 300 or 500 buy-in, 300 for the pool for your bankroll.
Yeah, I love those tournaments. They're fun. If you're gonna bet $300 anyways, go ahead and jump in there and it's pretty as long as you end up positive, you're basically gonna cash. Because I swear, Caleb and I played once with his dad at Keeneland, and we started with $200. I think we finished with $270 or $300, and we cashed an additional $300. So it's basically just don't go broke.
It's hard to win, easy to cash.
Hey Josh.
Yep.
Can you highlight Charles's comment? I know you have an opinion here.
Oh, New York going to change this summer with Pratt and Rispoli coming in from California. That's actually really interesting. I don't know what's going to happen with Pratt and Rispoli coming in. I think Pratt might have a bigger impact because I think with Pratt getting home some of those really nice Chad Brown horses on turf especially, I definitely think that he is going to get a nice quality amount when New York comes around, particularly from Chad. I don't know what's going to happen with Rispoli. I constantly feel like when Rispoli has left California, he hasn't gotten like a good quality amount. But I think he's changed agents since. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I know he's had kind of a rough go of it this winter. But we'll see what happens. I have no clue what kind of mounts he's going to get, to be honest, though.
Yeah, has that actually been confirmed that Rispoli's coming over? I know Pratt is, because I know Pratt's going to Keelan first, and so my first thought is like, he's not going to be in like a 5-horse field now on the favorite. So like, is he going to be like a 14% rider, or is he going to go 24%? Like, how's that going to look exactly?
I think that he's got the same agent that Junior Alvarado used to have, and Junior is going to Kentucky. So the thinking is that he'll probably get a lot of Bill Mott horses. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's, like I said, he gets a little bit better quality amount than he's had in the past. So
yeah, I mean, I think if anything, it's great for competition, right?
I mean, that's where you want all the jocks, right? You want all the jocks either at Del Mar or at Saratoga.
And to PDT's question, yes, I am in the Hampton Inn. It's $34 a night. Okay, I'm on tough times. I didn't do too well at Turfway tonight, so this is where I'm at.
PDT's probably actually. I forgot where he's staying. He's in Chicago. I'm supposed to meet up with him tomorrow, pending, but I know he's up there.
Yeah, you guys have the Green River to go to, right?
The Green River, yeah, the river is still green. Funny enough, the river is normally green, so I don't know why they dye it. So
hide all the bodies.
Yeah. Lloyd saying that New York is the best place to bet. That's where all the money's at. I love betting New York in the summer. Wintertime, the great horses are barn now, and good horses attract good jockeys. Saturday asking if we go to tournaments in person. I've only played them online, with the exception of the tournaments that they have at Hawthorne, but those are kind of OTB style tournaments where you can play any track. Caleb, BCBC, you played from home.
I was going to go in person for BCBC until COVID happened, and then they canceled the in-person part of it. I would only go in person if it's either local or if it's a big dollar contest, and they're going to either help me with travel or it's big enough to where I can see a cool race and process. I wouldn't do it for any given weekend.
Brian, I know you've played Lone Star in person. I know you've played Hawthorne in person. Did you do Lone Star last year?
Yeah, I did. I've done Lone Star twice. Lone Star is a great tournament because you could be at the track from the airport in 10 minutes. It's a 10-minute Uber ride. Fly in, do it, fly out. The way their structure is for the tournament's great atmosphere for a tournament if you're going to fly in somewhere. And then obviously Indiana Grant, or I'm sorry, I said it again. Horseshoe, Indiana.
Josh, we got about 4 minutes until Turfway. Did you look anything?
Yep. Well, it looks like Charles is on the 2. I almost want to just tail Charles because he's been on fire tonight. But let's take a look at this real quick.
Yeah, I actually kind of agree with Charles. I don't mind the 2. I think the connections on the 1 are going to be strong, but if I had a second choice, it would probably be the 2 here.
That's a crazy price on that. I don't really like the 2. I think he's a bit of a bridesmaid, but at 23-1, that's an amazing price if you actually get anything near that.
Attaboy Anthony. That's all I'm going to say.
Attaboy Anthony. What are you looking at?
The 7. That horse is interesting. He looked interesting, Brian.
At 12, I didn't think I was going to see 12-1 here. I really didn't. I thought maybe 7-1, 8-1. At double digits, I've got to use the horse.
So my pick 4, given the way that the structure happened and the horses that came in, I need to root chalk home from here. So I only have the 1 in my pick 4 here. I initially did like the 1, 5, 9, and 10, but the 1's the only horse I have any coverage to.
Yeah, to your point, Caleb, I like the 10 a lot as well. I think the board's a little drunk here. I think we'll see it sober up a little bit after they launch here. But yeah, if you don't like anything, besides the 1, I think you're going to get paid here. Do we have any fans of the Ward, the 8 here?
That's what I was kind of looking at right now. I was kind of scrolling through the 8. I mean, you get Wesley Ward, I know, and you get Kazushi Kimura aboard. They're hitting at 27% last 2 months, and I think you're getting the price. You're getting the price for to try and stab with this horse. The horse does look too slow. Bumped at the start last time out and lost the rider. But I mean, the horse is taking money basically every time. So interesting. It's definitely interesting. You get Munnings. Munnings on top. Love the sprinting, and I don't think is going to be a problem sprinting on the synthetic. The 9 was a little interesting to me as well. Broke its maiden first time out. I know Caleb's got like a hard stance about not betting maidens against winners, but I think sometimes it's a little different when the horse breaks its maiden first time out and wins by 4 lengths. And looks pretty good doing it, and then comes back and fires a bullet. I mean, I think this horse is ready to fire. So the 9 is super interesting to me here, and I mean, especially against this entry at even money. I mean, I would take the 8 or the 9. I think at this price over the 1.
I had the 9 in the pick 3 that isn't going to be worth anything, but I agree. I thought it was interesting. At Turfway, how many times we said we like the horses that have proven that they can run on the surface. So this horse comes in, breaks the maiden on the surface, and then comes right back. Pretty interesting there. Real quick, as far as the 8, in like 52 starts, Wesley Ward is even ROI 1.00, 35% win at Turfway on the meet in 52 starts. So I mean, if you like them, the price is there to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, I kind of think I'm going to do a little 8-9 over 2-8-9 exacta here. I'm going to see if we can get this entry out of the exacta, and then play a little win bet on this 8. I think that 9-2 is a really fair price, square price on this 8. So.
Yeah, I think if you can get around the 1, like you said, you should get paid here. I don't really care for the 1A. That's the horse that I thought we were talking about when we said the 2, because I'll not post numbers up. But the 1 is the horse that I think he just looks like he gets loose in this field, doesn't he? La Bella's Negra. Doesn't this horse kind of just, I mean, unless the 5 off the huge layoff or maybe the Ward tries to go. I mean, to me, this horse just looks like he gets everything his own way. And that's why I had a hard time kind of getting around him there.
Yeah, I like that. I think I'm going to use the 2 on top of the 1-8-9. I just like horses that are improving at Turfway in general, just kind of showing like they're in shape and can, kind of face the surface. So I'm going to lean there and just try and beat this, the 1-1A.
Yeah, crazy price still on this too. So go for it. I think that's a great pick.
I mean, Charles has already gotten a 21-1 home this tonight, so. Why not another? Lloyd saying cheap claimer. He's going to throw a dart, the 1 or the 6. And they're off. And there goes your 1.
Race is over.
Getting out to the lead.
Good job, Caleb.
It's basically what optics had kind of shown. The 1 was going to get out. The 6 was going to sit maybe just off. But it looks like the 6 is going towards back of the pack. It's 5 making an early move.
5 off the break was the horse I was afraid might try to press a little bit.
Sorry, I went my Capitan on you there, Caleb.
That's okay.
Was that a reverse Capitan, like trying to do that so your horse wins?
He anti-boomed me at the 5/16 pole.
Yeah.
Man, what is it with me and 7s tonight? I take every 7 that's back there by 15 lengths. I'm really struggling to.
Well, here comes Josh's 9 though.
Yeah, this 9 looks real good.
10 looks loaded.
I don't think the 10's going to get there. I think it's going to.
The 9 looks good, but none of my friends are coming with.
Oh, wow, that's a strong move. I was going to say until he went bumpity bump.
Yeah.
Who's on the outside there?
That's a 10.
10 in the pink cap.
And the 10 is just going to blow on by.
You told me the 10 wasn't getting there.
I didn't think he was.
Man.
Yeah, I could see the 10. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, I actually had the 10 was one of my. Excuse me, 10 was one of the ones I had on my initial ticket.
I was going to say you had that on your pick 4, right?
Yeah, just with the structure. I mean, I caught basically a C in the first leg, so that kind of killed my backup coverage here. The 10 would have been a B in this race.
Yeah, I think that one makes a ton of sense coming off a 6 into this company. Like, yeah, why would you not include that 10?
I mean, none of us included the 10, so why would we not include the 10?
Oh, I thought
It's a
Caleb
very
did.
good
I'm
question.
sorry.
I had it in my. I had him not the right structure, but I had him down. But
Okay.
I wasn't live to him.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah, no, Matthew's also saying, he's like, yeah, the biggest class drop. I don't know. I mean, the horse finished 7th in that race by 5 lengths. But
Class doesn't matter. It's interesting that race was 12 days ago, though, right? I mean, they came right back at the horse. So obviously, Jerry Antonuic knew something we didn't.
I don't know, like that's the kind of time when like people are like start talking about class where I'm kind of like, really, come on, like the horse wasn't very competitive in the race, and like you're like, oh well, class. It's like,
I mean, he was beating 5 lengths to Tiz the Bomb, who would beat this field.
Right.
By
Yeah.
as many
See,
as he
I'll
wants.
be the devil's advocate here. I actually look at that a lot. Like that's one of my biggest angles. Like not to say that I was like the biggest champion of this horse. So don't get me wrong, but like I look at that a lot. So
yeah,
I knew I liked you.
God damn.
So
Great.
far,
Now we got more class proponents in here. That's all I need.
Hey, all I know is you're 3 for 3 in getting replacements that Caleb likes better than Mark.
Oh,
True.
So
Yeah, I know. I was gonna try and contact Andrew Champagne, but I knew that I don't know if it's every year or if it's just this year in particular, but he goes to March Madness, so I knew he was out of town this weekend.
every year.
Is it every year? Yeah. I reached out to Ryan Dickey, and he said he had a date, or he was going out to dinner. I can't confirm which one it was. And
He
then
totally drive through Taco Bell us, didn't he?
dude, he might have gone to In-N-Out. I don't know. I didn't ask him where he was going to dinner. He was just like, "Oh, I got dinner." So like, all right. And I asked Jay, and Jay almost bailed on us, but lo and behold, here he is.
No, happy to be here with you guys and not making money so far.
It's all right. We never make money on the show.
Is that the point? Are we supposed to make money?
Oh, I've been doing it wrong this whole time.
Yeah.
Is that what we're doing here? Oh.
Why don't we flip back over to Oaklawn? We
do we have to?
got 30 minutes here till the next Turfway race. We got the Essex Grade 3 going a mile and 16th on the dirt. You got a nice big field. Caleb just thought this race was an absolute snooze fest. He was not looking forward to talking about this race. Was it this race or was it the Whitmore that you weren't interested in?
It was the Whitmore. This race is a decent race.
Okay. So, Brian, since you always go last, why don't you go first today? What did you like in this race?
No, damn well I didn't look at these races yet. Let me see here. Let me say something smart here. What number race is this?
This is race 9.
Oh, there we go. Oh yeah. Plainsman's probably a solid single. That's what I got. Looking at it quickly, because that's how I'm doing this. Look how there's a lot of pace here. I think Plainsman's going to be challenged, or it should challenge Warriors Charge. The question is Warriors Charge from the 3-hole should be able to go. Do I trust Joel Rosario in a horse that is somewhat quick? I don't know. It's one of those races where you're going to be 3 or 4 deep and you're going to get 3-1, right? Because the public's going to be all over 3 of the horses in this race, and the other 5 they're going to get tossed out, and probably rightfully so. With that being said, I'm going to take one that's not going to be one of the first 3 because it's like my favorite horse ever that I have to bet on that never wins. So, Josh, if you'll scroll down 2 spots, please. There you go. Thank you. I see it's an A. There's 3 cherries behind me, and there's an A right there. So that's gonna be a single for me now. Thanks, Josh.
No, I kind of agree with you when you your initial kind of assessment. I think this might be a contested pace. The thing is that when I looked at this race, I kind of feel like I either want the 1-horse Thomas Shelby, who's probably the speed of the speed in this race, is going to get out there on the lead. And then I don't want anybody else who's going to be within, I don't know, a length and a half of him. I don't want your Plainsmans. I don't want your Warriors Charges. I don't want your Popular Kids. I'm going to want someone coming from a little bit further back, which kind of landed me on both Rated R Superstar and Beau Luminaire. Just kind of looking at the way that this pace scenario is set up. And once again, thanks to Emily's product optics here, your one is a little bit of a tiny little Q1 square, and is looks to be your likely leader in this spot. And I think that this is going to still set up nicely for the 6 and the 7 coming off the pace. I do think that Plainsman is kind of a little bit of a wild card. If Plainsman wins, it's not like I'm going to be like, oh shit, like I can't believe it. But I just think at 2-1 on the morning line, at the way that this pace scenario is setting up, I just definitely think that he's going to be a fade in this spot. So
I'll let the other guys talk, but I gotta say something, Josh, because I always say something. Ricardo on a closer?
Why not?
Man, you're a bold man.
Dude, Ricardo's gotten his mojo back since he got dumped by Stevie. So
I just say because he's always been one of those jockeys that seems to find trouble on the closer, like he's, I don't know, a pinhead.
I mean, if you look at the Tinsel last time out, right? Like, I mean, he closed in pretty decently. I mean, I just don't think he got enough pace up front. So I think if you look at the 7, I mean, I know Landeros was riding him before, but at Keeneland, at Churchill, the horses run nice races when he gets a little bit of pace in front of him. So I just think that this is going to finally set up for him to have plenty of pace. Ricardo's only got one option, and that's to sit back and make that one run. I don't think even he can. I don't think he's going to screw that up. I mean, Rated R Superstar did the same thing 2 back in the 5th season, and got some pace in front of him, and beat a couple of people in this race. And then last time out, he didn't get the pace he needed, so that's kind of why he flopped a little bit. But I think that he's going to get a similar pace scenario in this race. And if he doesn't, I also like the 1 Thomas Shelby here as kind of your speed at the speed. If the 3 and the 4 don't pressure him, I think that Thomas Shelby's going to be hard to beat here.
Hey, Mark, Caleb. I didn't see you come in.
Caleb.
Yeah, I'm surprised, but I see this race very similar to both you and Brian. Rated R Superstar is my top pick.
Yes.
You go back and watch the Razorback handicap. And that race, the horses that were 1, 2, 3 pretty much finished 1, 2, 3, or I guess 2, 1, 3. There was very little passing going on that day. The pace was moderate at best, and Rated R Superstar completely blew the start. He was 15 lengths off, and he made up 13 lengths on the field on a race when not a whole lot of passing was happening. I thought that was a good race. I thought his race 2 back was also a good race. He has generally done some of his best work at Oaklawn. So I really like Rated R Superstar here. And Beau Luminaire, wasn't quite sure what to do with him. I do think he's been disadvantaged by a couple of pace setups in his last few races where he's been closing into some pretty slow paces and actually been closing pretty well into those paces. So I would give him a look here. I'm a little curious as far as 2 of those 3 starts coming in the slop. Prior to that, he's not really been much of a win machine, settling for a lot of minor awards. But he's a horse that I think could be interesting at the right price. But as far as off the pace runners go, I very much prefer the 6, Rated R Superstar.
Jay, what are you thinking here?
Yeah, it's funny. Actually, I completely agree with Caleb in terms of Rated R Superstar. The only one that I'm a little bit worried about is Warrior's Charge. I do think this horse is a little bit versatile. It's coming out of a little bit of easier company, but I'm going to lean more heavily on the 6, like Caleb said.
Yeah, I just I don't know. I feel like with, we've talked about this before, and you get these stakes races and you look at them and you're like, man, there's kind of a bit of speed here. And then what happens is the speed of the speed gets out there and no one presses him. So that's kind of my one concern with this race. I look at it, I see speed. I think that there's going to be speed. So part of me wants to fade Thomas Shelby. But I don't know. I think if you get a 7-2 or a 4-1 on Thomas Shelby, I think that's more than fair. I don't know if you get that price. I don't think you get 7-2. He's kind of like a local horse. He's local connections. Diodoro and Cohen, M&M Racing. So my guess is this horse is going to be too short to bet, like win bet. But I think that this is the horse that you use as kind of like your speed coverage in case they just let him kind of get out loose on there. But yeah, I really like the two off the pace horses, Radar Superstar and Bow Luminaire.
I guess the only question with Thomas Shelby is like that horse needs the lead, right? So does it get it with the 4 in this race or not? Like, do we think that Thomas gets the lead and just runs off with it?
I mean, I think he gets the lead pretty clear cut here because I mean that's his only option, right? He hasn't shown any kind of versatility really.
I mean, Warriors Charge could go too. It really just depends on how it sets up. I mean, I don't disagree though.
I think Thomas Shelby gets the lead. I do. To me, the question is he good enough? He's been beaten by a couple of horses in here today. And Warriors Charge just doesn't seem to have the speed he used to. And Plainsman had a surprisingly aggressive ride last out by Rosario. I don't think we see that again with a little more speed signed on. I think Rosario will elect to let somebody else kind of press Thomas Shelby. So I do think Thomas Shelby gets the lead, but I think the 3 and the 4 will both be close, which is why I think it does set up for more of an off-the-pace runner.
Yeah, looking at it, if Plainsman doesn't press, who does? I say that I'm looking at the running lines. Okay, if Warriors Charge doesn't have that speed anymore, if you look at the last few races, Warriors Charge has been somewhere around a 47 or slower half. So maybe Warriors Charge doesn't have the early speed. So then, could you make an argument if that's the thought process with Plainsman and Joel aboard that now the 1 is an easy lead, sets the half comfortably, and then has plenty left in the tank? Just playing devil's advocate a little bit.
I think it's a reasonable argument. I mean, I don't think he gets an easy lead and he's good enough to hold off some of his other horses. But if I'm going to take any horse, on the lead here, I mean, I'll probably take Plainsman, truthfully. I think he's a better horse than Thomas Shelby. But, I could see a world where Thomas Shelby does get an uncontested lead and the track maybe plays kind of inside speed that day. And yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Matthew saying, I think it's interesting how you guys discount class but focus so much on speed, which I think is an even bigger crapshoot because you just never know what the jocks are going to do. I don't think
I don't want to be associated in that you guys because that is just Josh and Mark.
One person that class doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's basically just me, Matthew.
And he talks the most.
I believe everybody else definitely believes in class at some point, to varying degrees. It's just, to me, it's the least important factor. Give me those Finger Lake shippers at Saratoga all day, every day.
So obviously, then Matthew's on the 2 title ready. If
he does, I think.
Yeah, he's making the class argument. That's the only one coming out of the Pegasus out of a G1. So yeah.
Yep. 2765. Title ready, Bow Luminaire, Radar Superstar, and Popular Kid.
See, I just didn't know how Title Ready could do it, honestly. Looking at it, I think Rated R Superstar sits a little bit closer than Title Ready does. And then you've got Bow Luminaire back there also. It seems like Title Ready's got the horse that's been sitting a little bit further back. That was with Tyler. So now Brian's back aboard. Maybe, but 12-1.
I mean, the horse just doesn't win.
Yeah, I'd be pretty surprised if Title Ready won. But I tell you what, if this horse goes off at like 5-1, I would go and bet him because these Dallas Stewart horses are just like, when they take money, you better look out. And Hernandez does come in to ride this one, or he might actually be here for Two Lane Tourist. I'm not sure. But yeah, I have a hard time seeing this horse win.
We just talked into the circle. We did that last week too, Caleb. Who was it last week?
We did somebody last week. I forget. Or maybe it was 2 weeks ago. Oh, someone at Turfway, actually. It was some no-name horse at Turfway.
That what?
That we talked into our circle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he likes the bullet work, too, at Fairgrounds, shipping in.
Man, he's going to make me bet that horse on Saturday, isn't he?
He probably will, because he's going to go off at like 20-1 or something.
So, okay, let me flip this around. Saturday, it asked about contests. in this race, you've got 3 horses that are going to be very short: the 1, the 3, and the 4. The 6 will probably be 5-1. So if you're playing a mythical contest, the 2 would be a great pick, right? Because the 2 is going to hold value, unless of course it's the typical Dallas Stewart at Oaklawn horse. But it. Okay, so from a contest standpoint, if you could find a couple things that the 2 needs to win, sure, because you might get that's a $30 contest horse.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that like you're gonna need to get a price on this horse to take it. Like, I'm not saying that if the horse fires its like fastest effort, like yeah, his 103 Brisnet figure that is his fastest on the fast track fits in perfectly in this group. But beaten 8 and 17 lengths, beaten 6 by 9 3/4 lengths, was third by 3/4 of the length back in the optional claimer, and then beaten by 34 lengths. And every time that this horse has faced any kind of class, like yeah, he won that Grade 3 Louisiana. So maybe he does fit in here, kind of going back. But I don't know. The horse just doesn't. The horse hasn't really fired, really close to that. I'm a much bigger believer in form than I am in class. So I just don't think he's been close lately. And
he has neither.
Yeah. Huh?
I said, and this horse has neither.
Yeah.
So the comments here are, horse is too slow early, will be far back, must overcome a lot.
Yeah, but the thing is like honestly, he's got the run style that you want in this race. I think that you're going to want to be coming from off the pace in this race. I mean, the other horses I'm picking, but
yeah, I actually, Josh, I completely agree. I'm a big class guy, but I completely agree to your point where it's just like this horse doesn't fit this race whatsoever, at least in my opinion.
So Matthew, I think he's messing around with bet mix.
What hey, maybe Matthew's right.
No, but before Title Ready went to Dubai, the horse was great. I mean, he was 10th by only 8 3/4 before 2 trips before Dubai.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because like Matthew, like look at Matthew's looking, and I know Matthew's a big bet mix guy. So he said that he changed the mix, right, and he's doing today's class, and he comes up 4-1-2-6. Yeah, like Plainsman, like if you want to tell me that Plainsman's a classy horse in this race and that he wins this race, like that I believe. The horse ran, won the Grade 3 last out, ran third in the Cigar Mile, and was competitive in there. Has been staying in graded stakes company and been, has won 2 of them. Like that makes sense to me. But I think that like sometimes when people talk about, hey, like this no hoper was entered into a Grade 1, ran against really great horses and just didn't run a step. That's like where like the whole like class argument like gets lost with me. But I know Jay's already disagreed with me, and I think we've talked about class probably more than we've needed to here.
No.
But yeah, like I said, if Plainsman wins and he's the best horse, like he might just be the best horse. Like that would not surprise me whatsoever in this race. But we got 10 minutes here to race 8, the last race at Turfway Park. Caleb, are you live on anything still?
I am not, but I think I'm going to make a bet here at Turfway. So I would have been singled to the 4, which I thought was going to be an enormous favorite in this race. But this race is not getting bet the way that I expected. This 7 horse, the first-time starter for Mark Cass, is taking a ton of money. This 10 horse is taking quite a bit of money for PDT's Sisterson connection. But the horse I'm actually going to bet here is the number 3 Robust. This horse had a worse than terrible start in his debut. I mean, just walked out of the gate, hobby horsed up the track, and then was just completely green, lugging in. Jock couldn't keep him straight. When he finally kind of got going, I thought he was finishing very strongly in that race. That is a race that held together on the front pretty well. They wheeled him back going a route next time, which was just a little too far. And I don't think that's what this horse really wants to do or what he's ready to do right now. I like the sprint angle here, cutting back. And I think he's going to get a little overlooked because that last race looks kind of bad. But I think Robust could be interesting here. So I'm going to have a win bet with him and maybe key him in exacta with the maybe the 4 and the 7, just given all the money the 7's taking.
What are you thinking, Jay?
Holy crap! Kentucky's going out. Sorry.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
There goes my
Oh,
bracket.
there goes my bracket.
Oh man. I didn't fill out a bracket, but I actually like the Cassie horse here, so I like the 7. I actually like another first-time starter as well in the 6. So I'm going to try to use those two with the 4, which is like the hometown favorite. But I think the 7, it's a $220,000 purchase where the works are just through the roof. And then you have a nobody who's like kind of the 6 where it just did a 46 breezing on the last workout. Like, I think that's interesting. Eric Reed and Sonny Leone, those two do well together. So I'm going to do a little bit of a 4, 6, 7 here.
Yeah, that 6 was a little interesting just because I saw that bullet work, and then I see the pedigree. Is it Mishawish on top?
Yep.
Has done pretty well on synthetic to start. I was a really big fan of the Pletcher horse last year. I already forget what the name of the horse is, but ran in the Jeff Ruby Stakes, and I thought he was going to win that race, and I think he ran into a little bit of trouble with Corrales aboard. I think he finished like 2nd or 3rd in that race, but he looked good. I bet him a couple times, but Mishawish has done pretty well on synthetic to start. So that six did jump out at me, especially at 10-1.
Yeah.
Currently, so I was definitely very interested in this 10.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're going to lean, like, if you're going to take a first-time starter and you're going to lean on the 7, like, why not just flip to the 6 at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the 7's getting bet because he's not live or if just because he's a half to Mo Forza. But this horse has taken a lot of money, which is interesting.
Look at the workouts the 7 posted too. Pretty solid.
True.
Charles is heading out. He said, later, guys. He's out of his picks. Had a pick 4 going to the last race. He liked the 7 here in this last one. And Road Warrior saying Kentucky just got removed from the Union. Someone must have seen that I picked Kentucky to win all my brackets. So
a ton of people did, man.
Man, Caleb, I think we really just cursed the whole University of Kentucky with our trip, man. We just mushed the heck out of them.
We did, man. After the football season, it's gone downhill.
Oh, man.
You lose to, I don't know what the fuck SPC is, but you lose to whoever that is, then that's on you.
San Francisco?
I don't think so.
No, it was not San Francisco. St. Peter's.
St. Peter's. What is that logo? Like a peacock?
For $5.99 a month, you can have Peacock.
Dude, you want to know the sick part is my brother bet St. Peter's plus 8.5. Man, I'm sure he wish he would have bet them on the money line now.
I think. Oh, look at that! Out of our bracket, Josh, you're crossed out for the champ.
Yeah, that's fun. What? Wait, where did you even see it? Oh, in the Discord one. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, which bracket are you talking about? Yeah, I'm crossed out on all of them. So
I had Gonzaga winning, so I'm still alive for now.
They didn't look too good today, though.
They did not.
Javon over here saying Cannon's only mount is this 10, and Sisterson is running him back quickly here. So yeah, this is Declan Cannon's only mount here.
Yep.
I like that angle. That's not bad.
Who was the Declan that went overseas? Was that Cannon or Carroll?
Nobody knows.
Cheese probably knows.
It has to be Carroll, right? It's not this guy.
No.
Whoever.
I think Declan Carroll went overseas to ride in Ireland, I think, for a little bit. So, Road Warrior, it's indeed a peacock. He said the sickest thing is they're 10 miles from his home. He had Kentucky going to the chip.
Oof.
Yeah, I had them winning. So
I did not. I had them in the Elite Eight, and then I had them getting bounced. But my dumbass had Iowa in the Final Four, so I'm pretty fucked too.
So Iowa was down. So here's the thing. I want to preface this, right? And I've told numerous people this. If you ever hear me trying to tout sports picks, just shoot me. but I will definitely talk sports. But me personally, I'm a sucker for the live bets, like during the game. If I think a team is going to win, and they're all of a sudden they're down by a couple points, and their odds are like looking pretty good on the live money line, I'll usually bet them. So at some point, Iowa was down by like 5, I think, with like 6 or 7 minutes to go, and I think they were like plus 170. I'm like, fuck it, dude. Like Iowa was like minus 500 or whatever. Like they're gonna pull this out, no problem. And it just like kept on looking like they were gonna win, and just, I mean, they missed that foul call. They missed 2 foul calls actually at the end, and the announcers were just like losing their minds. They couldn't believe it. But yeah, that was a tough one. I know a lot of people thought that they might have a chance to win it all. I basically fill out the bracket based off of what I knew about these colleges 10 years ago. So, I mean, I was like, yeah, University of Kentucky, they're always good. Sure. Duke? Yeah, of course. Like, but
That's why I took Arizona to the finals. I figured Damon Stoudemire is going to get Arizona there. Go Wildcats.
You sound like you actually know stuff. I just took
David?
I took the betting favorites, and if the spread was close, I took the long shot.
See, I know a little bit. That's why I had Iowa get knocked out in the first round.
Lloyd likes the 7, the 10, and the 12. Or
Is Ford finally taking the money that it feels like he should? I thought he would be 4 to 5 in this field, truthfully.
That's kind of what I was expecting.
These pick fours are just paying astronomical. I'm kind of upset that I'm dead now.
Yeah,
bad structure on my part.
I'm actually going to put sorry, Josh. I'm actually going to put a decent win bet on the 6 here.
That's where I landed too. Is the 6, 7, and I even like the 2 a little bit at 50 to 1. That feels ridiculous.
I like the 6 with you guys. I mean, Eric Reed rides for, or rather, Sonny Leon rides for Eric Reed, pretty consistently, and they do. They haven't had the strongest meet, but in general, that's a good connection at Turfway.
I mean, it's possible.
Pretty good for winning early at synthetics. So yeah, that's a good. I like that bet.
Yeah,
and not likely with all these first time starters. But could the 2 be low in speed here?
It's possible. In a field this big with this much unknown, I tend to not really look at the pace as much, but the horse should be near the front anyway.
Yeah, I think it's good to look at, but like I don't see Lone Speed winning that often at Turfway. I mean, if you can set it up that way, but
yep, that makes
sense.
Yeah,
I went with a pretty sizable win bet on the 6, and I did a 6, 7, 10 exacta box here. Yeah, Matthew was talking about the game. He's saying the fouls or calls were missed, but Iowa had no excuses. They shot for shit. I was in meetings basically all day, so I had the game on my computer next to me, and I kept looking over. And then finally, at some point, I turned the audio on, and they were like, "Yeah, that like they had shot like 6 for 30 or something from 3-point line from the 3-point line, and yeah, like." If you're putting up 30 shots from 3-point land and you're not hitting them, like you're in for a bad time. So yeah, they weren't shooting well. He also kind of agrees with that's how he bets baseball. Original favorite goes to the plus line. Bet it live. Yeah, I mean, like I'm not going to bet someone down 10 points with 2 minutes to go, but when they were down 5 with like 6 or 7 minutes to go, I was like, oh, they can definitely come back from this, and they did not.
So, but the 4's at 3 to 1. I just played the 4 over the 6, 7 here. The 7 took all kinds of late money.
5.
I see 3 to. Oh, there it goes. 3 to 2 now. Shit. Never mind.
I mean, I still think he's likeliest winner, but yeah, it's 3 to 1. I'd be with you.
Yeah,
but at 13 to 1, I'm going with my free still.
Yeah, that's what Express Bet was showing. I was like, oh wait, look at that, 3 to 1. Holy crap!
That's Banana saying rip the boss button. Remember that one? Or just pull up the Excel spreadsheet over the games. Nowadays, everyone working from home. It's a little bit different.
Well, not everyone.
Well, not everyone. Sorry, Caleb. I got to go into the office tomorrow if that makes you feel any better.
It does a little bit, yeah.
So,
wait, what do you say? Races like this use the top 2 win percentages in trainer jockey.
Justin says 4, 8, 10 box. Matthew Bickey says races like this, he uses the top 2 win percent factors from trainer jockey and also pedigree. He's put him on a ton of numbers lifetime. Yeah, like I don't hate that with stuff where you don't have the information, right? Like where you got first time starters and stuff like that, but they're off here.
I was going to go with trainer angle. I'm looking at the 3 and probably the 10 a little bit.
Actually, I should have seen who Corrales is aboard. Oh, he's aboard the 4.
Really
even
the
money.
best angle at Turfway is just Bet Corrales.
Bet Corrales.
Too bad it's even money. That's about what I thought it would be. Even 4 to 5, even money.
Oh man, they're blazing. 22 and 2. But the 6 is doing the moonwalk all the way back to the back of the pack, so I think the 6 is done.
This 3 is being asked, and doesn't look like anyone's making up a ton of ground here. I mean, the 4 still looks in hand.
Is that a Bob Baffert horse? He just looked between his legs. He knows.
All right, got to hit for the 3, get second. I hate that inside move. I feel like that never works at Turfway.
Nope.
Well, he got out anyway, but he's out of horse.
Who's coming up on the outside?
The 2, I think.
Oh.
Is it the 2?
Or
He's
the
not
12.
there though. No, it is the 2.
4-5-2.
4-5-2.
Nice pick on the 2, Brian. I mean, not at all low in speed, but nonetheless.
Well, with all those first-time stars, it's just one of those questions, right?
Yeah, no, it's fair.
Yeah. Matthew tossed a little bit of money there on the 2.
I thought the 2 made a ton of sense at that price, 82 to 1. Come on.
Yeah, I mean the 4 made a ton of sense, but I mean you were getting even money, and Caleb was single to it, which I think was probably the right play.
Think
But
about this. So you had the even money favored over a 9 to 1, over an 80 to 1. That trifecta is going to be decent.
With your 2 and 3rd, I think it will be. The exacta won't pay shit, I don't think, but that's a good. It's a good try.
The exacta is going to come back at $22.
That 7 took a beating and didn't have it today.
I could have gotten the 4. The 5 I was stretching a little bit to get to.
Yeah, I'll say this about Turfway: it's very difficult to get a first time starter home. Experience is just such a huge plus of this track. Like it's very difficult unless you're like a Brad Cox or something where you just have like an all star debuting. Like it's very tough to bet on a first time starter. Nonetheless, I still did. So here we are.
Here we are. We've all been there.
But I knew better.
That's a good point, Doc. I know that, but I forget it a lot of the times. Same thing with Kentucky Downs, where I find myself betting firsters, even though I know they don't usually win.
Right. Like this track configuration, like the Tapeta there is just like it's not like a PID or like a Golden Gate. Like it's its own thing. Like you really need experience there.
oh man, that sucks. Oh well, we'll get him next time. We'll get him tomorrow. What are you looking at this weekend, Caleb? You looks like it sounds like you said you might be DJing this weekend.
Yeah,
so
that's the way that it looks. I got some stuff around the house I got to take care of, but I'll be DJing some. The racing doesn't really excite me. I'll be playing a little bit of every track, given the Discord tournament, Elite 8, I think it is. I'll be playing a couple races from everywhere, but probably focus mostly on I don't know. I don't actually know where I'm going to focus. I'll do the golden hour bets because that's where I've been kind of making my bread and butter lately. And I'll probably glance at Fairgrounds because I've been doing pretty well there as well. If Aqueduct doesn't turn out to be a sloppy, boggy mess, then I'll probably play there and maybe jump in that tournament. But if it comes up just totally sweat, then I'm probably going to skip.
May I suggest some Sam Houston Race Park?
Oh, that'll be on the list. That's the evening after I've lost my ass kind of action.
Brian, what do you got this weekend?
No. Probably
Nothing?
Right now, there's nothing jumping out. I mean, I'll probably look for a couple spots, but I probably play some kind of a contest somewhere. The question is what. Be honest, I haven't even looked at the weekend's races yet, so I couldn't answer that question with any sort of response. I try to get somebody to tell me if Aqueduct was any good. I'm going to send Vicky a message and ask him what looks good for Saturday because, he's probably got a 50 to 1 horse. He's just waiting to pounce on in some mythical tournament.
Jeez, what are you looking at this weekend?
Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat. I don't have anything picked out. I'm a pretty boring guy. Like I'll just probably play like a $12 horse tourneys tournament, and that'll be my weekend. So nothing too exciting.
Yeah, and I'll be I'm gonna take a look at that Aqueduct tournament. I think we'll see what it looks like, what the weather looks like, and then Sam Houston. I mean, Sam Houston's been very good to me, with the exception of tonight. It's been my highest Roy track all year, and don't see any reason to stop firing there. So I'll be at Sam Houston for sure this weekend, and next weekend for sure, Texas Champions Day. I'm trying to get Andy Villanueva to come on. I tried to get him on this week because he just bitches constantly that we haven't asked him to do this. And so I finally asked him. He's like, "Oh, I'm out of town with my wife." And I'm like, "Oh, how convenient." So, but yeah, we're gonna try and get Andy on because he said he loves some Sam Houston. And yeah, I think that's gonna do it for us. Take a look at chat one last time. Road Warrior. Oh, go ahead, Brian.
The Sam Houston champion or the Champions Day, I actually talked to a guy to see how the Texas breds were. I was debating going down there for the tournament because they have a tournament. I think it's $1,000 buy-in. May have been 500. I don't remember exactly, but supposedly it's going to be a great day. The best of the best Texas horses will be out next weekend. So if you got any interest, if you're close to Houston, I'd check it out.
Yeah, Road Warrior mentioning a Turf Duct is 3 weeks from today. So Caleb, I know, is just excited as all hell for Turf Duct.
Oh, I can't wait for Turf Duct. The best time of the year.
And then, yeah, it looks like Matthew saying he won back-to-back Sam Houston rooms the last 2 days. Not today, though. So, Matthew saying that he'll look for you, Jay. What's your last name?
Oh, I don't know. Do you want my social security number too, or what?
Mother's maiden name.
Yeah.
Childhood pet's name.
He's Jay Davis on the leaderboard.
Yeah,
look at him in a horse tourneys.
That's fine. Yeah, my last name is Davis. I don't really care. You guys can look me up. I don't care.
Yeah, I've been really enjoying the tournaments. They're a nice way to play, and even some of like the feeders into the big money tournaments, they've been pretty fun.
Yeah.
I've been really close to some nice scores and just haven't been able to take them home. So
the question is, are you playing the Horse Tourneys Tour tomorrow, Josh?
I might play the Horse Tourneys Tour tomorrow because on Friday I feel a little less bad because it's like $190 versus like the $350 whatever it is on Saturday. So I'll probably jump in. If not, I'll definitely try jump in one of those early bird qualifiers for it. So
got 4 Santa Anita races tomorrow.
I mean, it could be worse. Could be Laurel. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for us. Thank you, guys. Jay, thank you so much for coming on, man. It was fun.
Hey, yeah, no, I had a great time. Thank you guys for having me.
But catch us. You got Jay. Follow him at Javis on Twitter. We're at wrong_lead. Catch us at www.ontherwronglead.com. One of these days we will start writing stuff again. This week is probably not the week, but it'll happen. And then obviously follow us on YouTube and on Twitter, and we will catch you guys later. If I find the button. Oh, that's Caleb's old ticket. How did that even come up? Here we go.
I don't even know what that was from. Shout
out, keep pounding. What if I told you that the perfect man did exist, but he was cursed? I mean, he's just a complete handicapper. East Coast, West Coast, Midwest. Might be the best I've ever seen. He could be the best looking guy in all of horse racing. I mean, he gives Matt Bernier a run for his money. I mean, we all saw it. He was minding his own business, walking back from the bathroom. Hottest girl in the bar just grabs him and says, "Reel me in." Turns out you can't always be that lucky, though.
Zulu Alpha charges up the rail under Tyler Gaffleon and takes the lead late. Zulu Alpha wins the Pegasus World Cup Turf.